Give this thing a second to turn on. All right. What's going on, everybody? I'm on the mobile setup. I don't think I've streamed from this before, so first you guys have to tell me. Put this down here. You guys have to tell me if this is working, because I have no idea. I forgot I had this open and he scared the shit out of me. Okay, that's good. That lets me know that it is working. That's actually scaring the shit out of you is really the optimal way for me to tell that this thing is alive and well. So it's perfect. We'll call that a win. What's going on? So it looks like we got Chop, Tommy, Lucas, Reese, Lizzie, Joey, Lauren, Joe Tato. Great to see everybody. Cool. Yeah, so obviously super last second. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do this tonight just because of timing and stuff. I'm still in Florida right now, actually. I just finished working with Brian Carroll. He literally spent 6 hours with me this afternoon, and we're kind of creating like a progression and stuff for the whole herniated disc and stuff in the back. The dude's incredible. Big fan. I actually might have him on the podcast soon because he's just getting started on YouTube himself, and he was the first dude to squat over 1,300 pounds. I think his record was 1,306 or 1,307. So just, yeah, a dude that has achieved outlier performance and then some. So I'm actually really hopeful that I might be able to connect with him and bring him on and have a conversation. So that's the game plan there. Let me grab this chat so that I can see you all. First things first, is the audio okay? Is it too loud, not loud enough? Roaring Titty says, I went to a school with that name. Oh, that's sick. I love that. Hey, yo, Roaring Titty, what up? Shout out to you. Good to see you. I just have to move the chat. There we go. Audio is good. Beautiful. Hey, who knew, right? Who would have expected that so far it seems to be generally working? Well, there it goes. It showed disconnecting. Okay, cool. Reconnecting. Yeah, perfect timing, huh? I'm on hotel Wi-Fi, so there is a chance that it might be a little bit rough. Okay. So, let's well, first, how's everybody doing? How's the week going? Is everybody hanging in there so far? Anything that I missed? Obviously, I just put a video out, if you guys didn't see, actually right before this, talking about the new update from the cat, which is very fun to see. Big fan. For those that haven't seen the video yet, he dropped 13G, where he unwound his Chewy position, which is pretty awesome, I say. So excited to see that come through, and I'm also excited to see the secondary and tertiary effects of that, because I actually imagine that there's going to be some. Nick says, I think Eric is trapped in a fish tank. Is that what it looks like? I mean, to be honest, I might need to turn down the frames or something to see if this is going to get any better. It's 3,000 kilobytes per second. I mean, that seems okay. It might be a little high. Let's run it for a minute and see how it keeps up, and then if not, I'll turn that down just a little bit and see if it helps. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is grab you guys the video from today. This video here. So that one, I just gloss over all of that stuff in a quick overview because I do think it's interesting. And I think somebody in the comments already told me that yeah, I'm going to turn down the stream. The quality is going to come down a little bit, but I think it will be better for us. Yeah, we'll see if it works there. That's actually a great point. I probably don't even need a beat on camera, huh? I just lowered the bit rate a little bit for the stream. We'll see if that works, and then if not, that's actually a great suggestion that I can kill the camera. I think it's just the internet. So let's Yeah, let's take a look through the market. DJT, I guess we could talk about that for a second because DJT's move has been quite literally parabolic. It's been fascinating to watch. And it's something that I ended up getting into just because it seemed like it was moving. It seemed kind of mostly that it had the potential for actually this. And I expected it not to have like a massive crater, so I thought that it was a generally good opportunity in terms of a trade. That's what led me into it. So what I ended up doing was getting some long calls. We can do like a trade review on another one when I have all my stuff pulled up. I'm like working off of my phone. And if you guys actually are curious, I can send you a picture of my standing desk, but it's literally a coffee table with a nightstand stacked on top of it. So I am not set up at all. But I felt the way that this thing was moving was actually really, really interesting. And it's because it had this period of consolidation. This is like a standard breakout play that's one of the reasons why I find it so interesting. It's a standard breakout play where it has this big ascent. Even this, believe it or not, down here, it doesn't look it because of the scale. But even this is a big ascent that then trends sideways, that then led to another large ascent, that then trended sideways, that's then gone parabolic. So this kind of, this kind of move is really, really standard for a breakout, but the catalyst behind this is really interesting. Joey here. The funny thing about room service, well, at least while I'm at places, I typically don't have them come in. And then one of my preferred things to do is right before I leave, I just put everything back exactly how I found it. It's kind of lame, kind of boring, but it's exactly the move. So. Yeah, I try to be nice to those people because I realize that they don't necessarily have the easiest job. I actually was going to make a post on social media earlier because I went and had dinner at like a pizza parlor on the way in. I actually didn't have dinner yet. Samuel says, "Can you please look at GME 100%?" I think we can 100% take a look at that. GME looks curious here, but. While I was grabbing dinner at the pizzeria, there was like this lady, super, super sweet, and like I forgot how cheap everywhere else is compared to California. So I actually got like a pizza and I had an Arnold Palmer, and it was like $20. So I essentially gave her a 100% tip and then some. And it's like cool people like that I always try to take care of as best I can. So Reese says, hold on, what did I miss? Reese says that, Lauren, bad habit as a trader, buying on weakness, bargain buying is good for investing, not trading. Same reason you should have held when it showed strength. Yeah. Reese, that's a really important point that most people, like the overwhelming majority of people mess that up. That takes a long time to get used to as a trader. Buying things when they're near their peaks feels very, very unnatural, to say the least. But it's really important because even if you think about the broader movement of something like the stock market, just index ETFs in general, those themselves will spend most of their majority of their time near all-time highs. So if that concerns you with things essentially running near all-time highs, it's a tough way to do things because you're going to miss a ton of opportunities that way. Jimmy says, what part of Florida? Miami, born, Fort Lauderdale, spent time in Orlando, Tampa, Destin. I'm in Jacksonville. I'm actually right now, I'll tell you where I'm at. I went a little bit north out of the city. I'm at Amelia Island. It looked cool. Also, I did not just realize until this very second now that I'm looking at my phone that Georgia is like right there. Had no idea. Kings Bay? Fun fact. Sorry. Complete tangent, but fun fact. I went to Kings Bay, Georgia when I was in college with ROTC for Cortramid and moved to Kings Bay. Interesting. Yeah, that's super cool. If this is coming through super choppy still, let me try lowering the bitrate just one more time, and then I can also try hotspotting too. That's entirely possible. Let's see. I just gotta make sure I don't drop it too low. I'm asking the internet how far I can drop it. I'd rather be seeing says sounds okay on my end. Oh, cool. If it's not sounding super choppy, then that's sick. For me, I keep getting an alert that I'm like dropping out. Let me drop it just one more time while I'm in here. Okay. I took it down to 2250. All right. Let's pivot over now. Let's take a look at some stuff. Tommy says, yeah, sounds good for a hotel room. That's shocking, to be honest, especially because normally, like, if I can, I pay for the better internet, but this place doesn't even have that as a choice. I don't know if you guys can see the continual pop-ups in the bottom of the screen, but that's like the thing saying it's disconnecting, reconnecting. But it looks like we're good. Great. Fantastic. I'd rather be skiing says, took some profit on DJT today. Super. With DJT, I ended up scaling out a decent bit of it between both of these days. And then what I have left on now is I'm just going to sit and let that ride, just let it go. Because I don't, the tricky part here is that I genuinely am getting to the point where I don't know how high DJT goes. Like, I don't see it cracking above 99, 100, something like this. And over here, could it get into the 60s? I think so. Yeah, I think 60s is reasonable, but I mean, here it wouldn't surprise me at all if it bases a little bit. The problem I think that we run into is that there is the overwhelming potential that as the election gets closer and if things sway either way, this thing can go generally parabolic either way. And the same thing that had it down at 11 could very easily throw it back up to 80, 75. Like, I can totally see that. Let's see. I want to take a look really quick at the probabilities here. Yeah, look at that. So the probabilities are really, look at this. So the probability here of GameStop closing 16%. That's nuts. So the probability of us hitting, this is crazy. The probability of us hitting 80 right now is 33.5% within the next 10 days. That is an incredible skew in the probabilities. Because, I mean, like, it can only go so low, right? So there's just a straight up floor. So, yeah, this looks like there's really significant. Look at the volatility, 327%. So with something like that, it's no joke. I'd rather be skiing gave away 10 Outlier trading memberships. Yo, I'd rather be skiing is the homie. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That will actually go, I'm not ordering DoorDash. I'm going to walk for my second dinner. But that will go as a tip to Brian Carroll because the dude's awesome. Big fan. So happy to pass that along. Thank you very much. And it looks like a bunch of you guys got hooked up by him. So make sure you guys say thank you to I'd rather be skiing. He's a homie for y'all. Okay, so that's DJT in a nutshell. And I know that folks are going to want to take a look at GameStop, rightfully so, and I think we should do that. So first things first, though, I think it might make a little more sense for us to take a peek at Chewy. because we now have some information regarding the cat's position. So it's one of these, this one. So as you can see here, we had a 13G, and the date of event, which requires the filing, is 30 September, and this was 13D1C. Now, one of the things that I think is really, really interesting is he didn't include not a cat. And I know that that's kind of silly, but I think with the new update here, it's, I don't know, it's just, it's so hard not to massively read into everything that this dude does, but I do think that this looks like it means something. I don't know what, and I don't know if anybody else does. I haven't heard any significant theories on it just yet, but I haven't figured it out. The way that I looked at this is the first time he filled this out, it had is not a cat, and it was right, obviously him playing around. And I think you guys are saying that this is National Cat Day, so there's that angle here, but he doesn't have that this time. So I don't really know what to make of that. Cedric says he is a cat now. Maybe, but I don't, maybe. I can't make heads or tails of it. Any other theories? I legit don't know. Roaring Titty, I hope it's not too different. Feels okay. Right now, we're right next to the air unit, so I'm guessing that might be it. Let me turn off this desktop audio. I don't know if you guys keep hearing that ding when it reconnects, but I don't want you guys to get beat up by that. I'd rather be seen says, glad I sold Chewy. Yeah, well, Chewy's weird because let's grab his other 13G really quick, because I'm actually kind of curious here. Let's see. Roaring Kitty, Chewy, filing. I want to see if we can see the original one. 13. Chewy filing original. Four months ago, there it is. Oh, this is so annoying. I'm just trying to find the original. Do you guys know where the original is? June 24, 2024. Let me see if I type that in. 24 June. I just want to be able to side by side these. July 1. Okay, here we go. Is this the 13G or is this just his social media? Dude, this is so frustrating. Where is it? Go on SEC and type in Chewy. That's what I was doing. It's not popping up. $13G Keith Gill. And then June 24, it should be. There it is. Found it. Oh, that's why, because the date was off. That's why. Cool. We got it now. All right, I think. Well, I thought that was correct. Here, just so you guys can see what I'm doing at least. So I'm in here. I'm looking at this. There it is. Perfect. 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 We got it. Look at us go. All right, so let's see. So date of event which requires is June 24. I really wish I had like another screen. I even have my spare screen right now. 24 June. This day. And then 30th of Sep. Yeah. So I forgot where we thought he got in at like 26, and then he would have got out at like 29. So for him, I mean, that is just a completely trivial position. He obviously is not doing that for the big bucks. He's not doing that to make a ton of money, like clearly, because a $3 move in something like this, he doesn't care about that in the least. But to me, it just shows that the thing that's going on here is he's just playing games. He's just trolling, which is hilarious to me. I also don't know, again, I don't know why this is gone. I'm surprised. I wonder if he got hemmed up a little bit for doing it. That was my guess. Roaring Titty says he's thumbing his nose at regulators and market maker algos. Sort of. I don't think that's this here. I think the original entry into the trade was just kind of him playing games, and I literally think it was just him having fun and playing around with Cohen, right? Because there was a lot of gesture baked into that because it was 9,001,000 shares. It was in Chewy, which is Cohen's old company. So all of that stuff, I actually get. That makes sense to me. This water does not smell or taste good. This is Emile Island sink water, which very metallic. I probably am getting my day's worth of iron today, I feel. But the sale period on 30 SEP. Why 30 SEP? Like, why 30? Does it say how many shares he dumped? It doesn't say. It shows how many shares he has. So he's at 0%. Yeah. So I think that's the main flag here, is that it's sitting at 0%. I'm just doing like a side by side here to see if there's anything else that's. So he only has. James says he's going all in on DJT. Hmm. Yeah, I doubt he's trading DJT. It could be. I mean, who literally knows? I genuinely do not know. But the dates in here are just so strange to me. 24 June to 30 Sep. I just don't see anything. Was there anything 24 June? National Cat Day, making the post make sense. The exit here, I don't get. And the entrance here, did you guys dig up any significance behind the entry on 24 June? Because I haven't seen anything about that myself, but I would be interested if there's anything out there on that. I just don't know any of it. Market's up a bit. Look at that. NASDAQ's up 2.28%. Small cap or large caps, S&P up 0.29, leading it a bit. Gold is up. Gold's up again. God. Jeremy. Gold is such a hater, bro. And I literally got stopped out on this stupid day, and then I wanted to get back in as soon as there was and I totally missed it. Oh, idiot. Completely missed that. God. That's terrible. Ain't that the worst? The absolute worst. Um, Jay says, were GME and Chewy similar in price in the um what was it, 24 June? We gotta go back 6 months. It's like 24, call it. And then Chewy, 26 that he would have got in at. So close. But I'd rather be skiing says definitely getting some chop in your signal now, crappy hotel Wi-Fi. Yeah, definitely. I think that's 100% what it is. I can always switch over to hotspot as well. But um, yeah, we'll see if it can continue surviving. X1 says, is 30 sep the 30-day file period for when it would be announced? Um, it's a good question. I don't know if it's a 30-day period for the exit, is it? Because I think they revised it. Let's ask ChatGPT. Actually, I'm going to do it on my phone to not put any more stress on the stream. Oh, there it goes. Stream is dying again. I'm going to see if I have better. I'm going to see if I have better Wi-Fi. Let's see. Forget this network. And then give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can hotspot the phone and see if that helps. Lots of G's. Plenty of G's. All right. There it is. All right, gang. Let me know if this is any better. We'll let it run for just a few minutes. I'll keep the phone near the window. What do you guys think? So far, this looks better to me. But I also cannot tell. So far, so good. Okay, well, we'll run it like that. I think I have enough power. I think, what's the computer at, like 30? Let me plug this in super fast. We're on the janky setup, y'all. Okay. Oh, no wonder why the computer is stupid. Microsoft Defender start running stuff. Why would it do that? Okay. I think we're good now, man. I got a charger plugged in, running 68%. I got the phone running the hotspot. I think we're good. Hot damn, look at us go. I might even be able to turn this bit rate up just a little bit. We gotta prod it. We gotta see if it's possible. Look at us go. That's good to know. Day and night better, bro. Oh, that's great. That's honestly incredible to know. I had no idea that the phone could hotspot the stream so well. That's massive. Sweet. Okay, so man, now we can like really dig into this for a minute. That's awesome. So 20 let me get back to the question. Okay, we were going to ask ChatGPT and we were going to ask ChatGPT the filing rules. Jay says, is it possible he did a one-to-one stock swap? What? I honestly don't know what that means. And then Richard Snook says he's had Chewy for a while. He just had to file when they did the stock buyback. Is that accurate? I haven't heard that before. That might be accurate, but I don't know if it is. Because I also don't know exactly how that would be the case, because we know he didn't have Chewy for that long, because we would have seen it, right? Because he still did YOLO updates and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know how accurate that is. It might be, again, it might be accurate. I don't know, but I haven't seen that. Richard Snake says it's my theory. Okay, got it. So that's cool. I think having theories is the name of the game here. Roaring Titty says he only YOLO updated GME. Yeah, I think he only YOLO updated GME, but I think there's definitely an implicit transfer when he doesn't update at all the entire time after we get a 13G filing. I think his YOLO updates apply to his YOLO account. I don't necessarily think the YOLO updates apply to everything he holds. At least I don't think they do. I think he has a couple other accounts, whether it be for retirement or, for whatever else. I don't think it's everything that he holds. But I do think when he does these YOLO updates, he has like a very specific vibe for the YOLO update account. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else in this that like sticks out to me as strange. The dates are strange, but only because they don't really tie to anything. When did they require, or hold on, when was this? June 24. And when was his last YOLO update? It was on, we're at Kitty, here we go. DFB, June 13th, June 24th. So, I mean, let's look at this, right? So June 13th here, 9 million, 6.6. So when did Chewy do the share? 613. Wait, hold on. Y'all got me confused. He filed them within days of starting their buybacks. When did they start the buyback, though? Because we can make some reasonable assumptions. I don't think he held both of these at the same time. He could have, but I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think so is just because the amount of money both of these trades would require to hold them both at the same time would be I see it unlikely that he wouldn't have just started with that amount of money in here if that was his game plan, to trade with that much money. So I don't actually see that. Okay, June 26th announced, but when did they actually do the buyback? Because if they announced the buyback on the 26th, then then the theory on the buyback forcing his hand doesn't make sense. Because them announcing the buyback isn't the buyback. So TCM King is saying 26 June is when it was announced, which is okay. May 29, so that doesn't matter. 2nd, June 26. But again, let's clarify. If it was announced or if it was completed. Because again, like those are different things. He wouldn't have to report anything on when it was announced. He would have to report on when it's done and when the share offering changes. Roy Titty says it does matter. That's when Chewy started to increase in price. Oh, I see. Sorry. So your assumption is, but again, I just don't see that because hold on, Titty. Is your theory then? Hold on, let me see. Where's your date? So Roy Titty, is your theory that he started buying around 29 May and that he was buying between 29 May and 26 June? And then in the meantime, let's see if we can find when the actual buyback was executed, because we need that. Richard Snook says, yeah. I see. Okay. I think that's a hell of a hot take. I don't think it's impossible, but I think that the overwhelming evidence, at least that we have now, would allude to that not being the case. Because it had a spike for earnings, and then it trickled down to nothing until the 18th of June. It wouldn't surprise me if he started building his position here on the 18th and then finished on the 24th. That wouldn't surprise me. But this just looks like standard earnings volume, like good earnings volume. I'm literally blown away that this phone hotspot is working that well. Like, this is another massive volume peak for earnings here. The repurchase is expected to close by 27 June. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, TCM. That's super helpful. So then based on that, I don't see there's any evidence. Yeah, I don't see any evidence. Again, it's okay to make guesses, right? Like, that's no problem there. But I don't see any evidence that shows him buying shares here. Like, I don't see any evidence of that. And I also don't see any evidence of the other theory that the buyback is ultimately what forced his hand to report, because the buyback wouldn't have impacted this position. Yeah. So, I mean, decent theories. Again, my theory is pretty simple. My theory is that after 13 June, he started unwinding his GME position. Which we can see there's massive volume and massive sale volume on the 14th and on the 17th. Massive sale volume. Sale volume on the 14th was 49.9 mil, and then on the 17th was 66.3 mil. So that's my guess. My guess is that he unwound his GameStop position in here, and then I think he rotated over to Chewy between here and the 24th. So let's look at Chewy starting. Let's do a 2-buy, actually, instead of flipping between these. This would be much easier. Let's do Chewy and GameStop. Let's zoom these out a little bit. So 17th of June, if we're following my theory, let me do this really quick. 2 by side by side. And then let's delete this one. And then let's do another one as top, bottom. I'm just changing this so that we can compare them a little more easily. Style, old style, basic. What is this? About 3 month, 6 month daily, 6 month daily. Okay. So now we can kind of look at these and follow the theory all the way through. So my theory is that 16th, he posted on the 14th. My theory is that he started unwinding, if not totally, on the 17th. He posted on the 13th. So my theory is that he unwounded 14th, 17th. And then if we look at the 17th up here, quiet, 18th, massive buy volume. Let me update these studies really quick. Buy volume. I just want to be able to look at the actual volumes that he transacted at. Richard says 9 million shares unwound in GME and into Chewy in 8 trading days. Oh, you don't even need that much for 9 million shares. You have to remember 9 million shares again. Like when there's a lot of volume like this, that moves easy. So, like for example, on Chewy, I think the time frame was even more compressed than that. Like I think he built most of his position on the 18th, and then maybe got over the threshold on the 24th. But even on the 24th, he could have been literally half the buy volume, but there's enough to eat him and then some. If I had to guess, he probably would have phased in over a couple days because that's literally what we've seen him do with all of these other larger trades. So let me grab our workbook here. Because we've looked at this before. So this for these larger options trades, because he could have cleared these, he didn't need to take this many days to get in. He took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days to get in here. And then this other group where, to be completely transparent, it's not confirmed that this was him, but this other period that looks like him, it looks like it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So he takes a little bit of time to get into these positions. He's not like just bumbling in, but this is with options, which options are going to be way less liquid than stock. So for example, if we grab unusual whales, and again, in full transparency, I am an affiliate for these guys, but I like their tool a lot, so I have a clear heart. Let's take a look at the dark pool feed, and then let's look for Chewy, just to get a sense. Yeah, see, look at this. If we sort this by premium. There's literally 1.5 million blocks of trades going through. So I think it's entirely doable. It wouldn't even take them that long. This could be done in pretty short time. I mean, let's see if we can find them in here. What did it say that the unwind period was? The 29th? Because it's probably a mix between... Richard says, I wish I had that kind of money to say, nah, my 9 million shares need to go over there. Oh, dude, that's the funniest part. Also, shout out to us. There's 69 of us in here. I'm telling you, it is magic the way that our streams tend to magically gravitate towards that. And I'm also still shocked that the hotspot is working as well. Like, I literally can't believe this. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the funny part, is that the dude has an incredible amount of money. And again, I don't even think that this is all his money. I think he has more money than this, but he's just kind of like playing games, having some fun. That's what I think. I need to turn this air up a little bit. Just calming that air down because it's fucking rumbling. So you guys were saying look at the 20th dark pool for Chewy. Yeah, let's do that. See 258, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. A bunch of blocks at 25. If my theory is on the 18th, I want to go to June. Let's see. $396. What is this? I need to go 18th to the 24th. $396, $362. TCM says supposedly 9.4 mil FTD. The FTDs are rolling though. I think that's one of the problems that people have with like deciphering FTDs is that they're not a static figure. So I think FTDs, they're useful and they're informative, but I think they're slightly different and they inform us differently, I think, than most people anticipate because of the way FTDs behave. They are. TCM says they weren't there the day before, but how do you see that? How do you mean when they file the report like 2 weeks or 4 weeks later? Because if that's the case, obviously we can see the historic data. Well, I mean, let's just see. I think Newton will have that, right? 9.4 mil. Yeah. Let's take a look. I don't actually think it's that telling, but we can take a look. To me, in terms of like trying to track down, just to discuss the point before we move on, to me, the way we track down where the transactions are, because again, like even this is just dark pool volume, right? This is not total volume. The easiest way to track down where the probability of these positions being moved through are literally looking at the volume, right? So again, if we look at the volume essentially from the 24th, which is when he had to file, that's 18 mil buys. The 21st was 6 mil buys. The 20th was 4 mil buys, right? So we can look at both the 20th and the 21st, and we can say it's conclusive. On neither of those days did he purchase his position. Could it have been split up between multiple of those days? Sure, because the other thing is the probability of him being 100% of any float is essentially null. He's not going to be the only participant. But if we take a look at something like the 18th of June, when the buy volume is 22 million, that 22 million can consume him pretty easily and still have room for more people and then some. And that's the same thing that we see on the 24th. The 24th was 18.4 mil. So I think that between those kinds of really big days, it's easy that he can get in, again, phased in over those days. Because on the 17th, it was like 4 mil, because on these days it's real quiet. 9 mil buy volume on the 6th. Roaring Titty says, still think he was scaling in since May 29th. Yeah, I mean, I think it's completely fair, right? Because nobody really knows what the dude's doing, so I don't blame you for having the idea. Again, you guys know the way that my brain works at this point. For me, I need to see some sort of evidence in order to make a leap that I can, like, justify. And I think the problem is I don't see a justification to see him scaling into Chewy on the 24th. Or the 29th, sorry. Because when we see this kind of volume in something, it's like standard earnings volume. And I think this was a really good earnings. Yeah. Like, this kind of earnings was a crack earnings, where it came in at 31 actual against 4 cents estimate. So millions of people are going to scale into this because they're going to forecast post-earnings announcement drift. I didn't end up trading it, but this definitely popped up because of the EPS beat. EPS beats like that, there's a really well-documented phenomenon called post-earnings announcement drift that's very, very tradable. And it is way more efficacious in smaller products like this because they have a slightly lower float. So yeah, I mean, this doesn't surprise me at all. Roaring Titty says his old live streams he talked about liking stocks with buybacks, good earnings, met his criteria. Sort of, right? Because the buybacks themselves are one way to pay. And again, like, I don't think he liked this stock from a fundamental perspective, genuinely, because there's plenty of stuff that moves so much better than this. I think what drove him into Chewy is the fact that it is Cohen's old company. Like, that's the only reason to move into something like this from somebody's like his perspective, is to play games, have fun. Because from an and again, broader to the point, if his idea is to be a value investor, this is not a value play. You don't derive value from something holding it from 29 May, if that's what we think when he got in, until the 30th of September. Like, that's not enough time for value to be injected into the system. So yeah, I mean, that's the cool part, is nobody knows. Literally nobody knows. But the other thing that I think about again is that based on his last account update, he literally didn't have the money. He would have had to have unwound GME. And the fact that GME didn't move, again, I should say it didn't seem like he had enough money. Again, I can only go off of the things that I can prove. And it's really difficult if we think that he just magically had another, $200 million sitting in another account that he just decided to dump into something else. But it could be. We really don't know. I'm still thirsty and want more water, but that water is just really not good. Really not good. Gonna have to figure that out. What else did we have to look at in GameStop? What do you guys think? Cedric says, buy bottled water, doofus. That's one of those things, man. It's one of those things that I'm still real cheap about. And I mean, I'm also in the middle of the stream, so I don't want to leave you guys to go buy water. We'll see. the way that I look at it is depending on how thirsty I get, it will be worth it. We will see. So what did you guys come across on the 28th here? Because I didn't see any news pop up in this. Obviously, there was the news later today on the cat, but I think that was what after the market, right? I think the market had already closed when that news broke. I was seeing Brian, so I didn't catch it real time. Nothing. Okay. Yeah. What's the fuck? That's just a crazy catalyst. Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Do you see what I see? I'm gonna go fill up my water bottle. Take a look at the candle and take a look at the volume. What do you guys think? Do you guys see what I see? On the 20 on the 28th. The 28th had a 98% buy day at 13.3 million shares. So, and for context, the last buy day that we had above 10 million, I'm looking at just the last day that there was over 10 million buys. Here on the 23rd and the 20th. So somebody's buying here. That's what that tells me. Somebody is absolutely buying there. I'm going to grab the dark pool. Where does this screen go down till? You guys can see like the bottom of RSI, but you guys can't see the dates. That's kind of annoying. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can fix that. I think it's Alt that I have to hold. A little more, I guess. There we go. Just trying to get you guys to be able to see the bottom. Cool. I think we got it. So let's look at GameStop. And let's just look at yesterday. 28th. I'm in the wrong spot because I'm dumb. Do you see what I see? Huge, huge size. Guess what else I see? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How is this 2? Oh, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 28, and 11 mil of 4, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 32. So 32 blocks of 5K. Let's take a look today for a comparison. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 blocks of 5K. Let's look at the 25th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 16, 17, 18. 19. 19 blocks there. Let's look at the 24th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. 9 blocks, 18 blocks. Even the fact that those are 9s are kind of weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. So it's a lot of 5 blocks until you get to the 28th. And then there's what, 32 we said? I'm just saying. That looks a little sus to me. That looks a bit sus. Then again, I mean, I have no idea what's going on. I just kind of work here. But that is relatively sus, in my opinion. TCM King says the 5K blocks have been going on for weeks. They have, but to a much smaller degree, right? So the thing to remember is like the 5K block that we see that's going on, like the 23rd, for example. And there's, let me refilter this really quick again. 5, 1, 2, 3. And there's a handful. The thing with Roaring Titty says the 5K blocks have been going on a long time. Yeah, no debate. A couple things. So the first thing is there's nobody that has any sort of ownership over 5K, and 5K isn't even necessarily what somebody inputs as their order, right? So sometimes somebody can put in an order that gets filled in these increments or something like that. Like that can be fine. But the interesting thing here is if you look at the premium, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's $1 million here. So this, even based on one of the cat's latest posts since before he disappeared, he still had a few million doll hairs ready to go. 6 million. So, and then if he got 9 million, what did we think he got in at? I need a calculator. I think in Chewy, let me look at price here. It's called 26. $234,026. So it's 234 million. What is this? So he would have way more money left over. He had 268 here. 268 minus 234. 268 minus 234. 34. So he would have had around 34 million in cash. So 34 million in cash, again, under the assumption that he unwound this trade, bought the other at around 26, giving him like a mid-fill, just again to ballpark some ideas here. So you would add 34 million in cash. He can run these for some time before even using the residual cash, before he would have to start closing his Chewy position. So really difficult to tell the timing and the way that that would go down, but it does look like. Mashton says he could have played Chewy options and we don't know. I don't think so. He could have. Again, I will always acknowledge the possibility of things, but the option space, I'm fallible for sure, but the option space I watch very, very closely. I'm very confident saying very, very closely. And I didn't see a ton that looked like his fingerprint. Because if you remember, we've done like 13 episodes now. I think we just finished. Do we have one more episode of reviewing his trades? Something like that? But like, we've gone through this in depth at this point. And I haven't seen a lot of movement in here that reminded me of him. Again, that's not to say that none of it could be. It's impossible. Of course, it always is. But I didn't see a lot. And nothing at the size that he typically operates at. So, yeah. And honestly, the other thing, oh yeah, hold on. We got to go back and look at that Chewy post that he did when he was putting down the toy on X. Roaring Kitty. And September 6th. September 6th. September 6th. September 6th. End of September. End of September 30th. SEP is the date that requires it. Interesting. I don't know what to make of that. I have to think on that a little bit. I'm trying to align the September 6th, clearly the message that he put out on X of him like putting the toy down. That was clear as day. Right? Super clear. Interesting. Did my charger die? Damn. My computer just sucked this charger dry. Like a succubus. I'm gonna have to give that a minute. Leapfrog says once again the market maker could have taken a hit to obfuscate this, knowing the impact of what he was selling to. I don't see that personally. Like again, could it be? Yes. I think people I don't know. I notice it heavily in the ape community where I think that people continually like over empower what market makers are capable of doing. And not just capable, but incentivized to do. So, what's going on here? Sorry, I'm trying to charge my little laptop charger, but it is struggling. Don't understand. We'll just let that go for a little bit and see what it does. I'm getting caught up. Their incentive on a loaded option market is to go to max pain. Again, sort of. Like if they could pick, but it's important to remember that market makers they can't pick. Market makers are going to be slaved to order flow. So if they had their choice, they would prefer max pain. And they can definitely do things, especially in lower float stocks, to influence it. But I think it's just important to remember that market makers also they make their money by making markets. It's not like they make money by manipulating everything. Again, I'm not saying that they wouldn't. I'm not saying that they're angels or that they don't play games where they can. But I just think retail tends to like over demonize them and kind of give them more power than they functionally have. Cedric says yes, but what do they do if their position is mismanaged? Oh, I probably missed a part of what you're saying. I'd rather be skiing says Citadel is a market maker and a hedge fund. Yeah, that's messed up. That's a conflict of interest. But still, it's not like they don't have free reign. Like again, they still do have constraints on what they can do. Again, I'm just simply pointing out that it's not like they have limitless power or something like that. They don't. I'm gonna try another outlet for this thing. Looks like this power bank might be like dead, like broken dead. Just kind of unfortunate, I suppose. I'll probably have to go grab one. 9:20. What time is Walmart open till? This thing's smoked. Where is GME going, squad? Yeah, that's a good question. Let's see if there's any GME volume today. So the 20s definitely got lit up. But this is across a bunch of stuff. It doesn't surprise me at all that the 20s moved here. I don't know what any of these buttons do on this thing. This charger's blowing my mind. So if I don't know if you guys can see, if I hold the button down, it alternates between 0 and the percent. If I hold the button again, just the 0 blinks, and then if I hold it again, the 0 and the percent blink simultaneously. And then I don't know how any of this works. Roy today says when it says ask, does that mean calls were bought, sold, or bought? So it means that we are inferring. that they were bought. But it's really important to emphasize inferring because we don't actually know. And the reason why we don't know is because we're just making a guess based on where the option was transacted at. So it can be recorded opposite. So essentially what this is doing is this is saying, based on the bid or the ask, did this transact spot price at the bid or the offer? And if you lift the bid or take the offer, that's how they assign the ask. But it's not concrete. It's based on, it's an inferential thing. I cannot tell if this thing is charging. Because if not, we have a problem. We'll just let that sit, figure it out. So let's see of these nearer term options what happened. These 1-noves. So a lot of small trades in the 1-nove. This doesn't surprise me. Arab says bought at the offer. Bid means they were bought at the bid. ¿Qué fue? ¿Qué dices? Roaring Titty says, I need to make flashcards. I get things backwards. Just think of it this way. The ask is the cheapest somebody's willing to sell. The bid is the most expensive somebody's willing to buy. Arab says, let me explain more in detail. Honestly, I would avoid that, Arab Rick. I think the way that you're phrasing it is more confusing than it needs to be. Just remember, the bid is the most somebody's willing to pay. The offer is the cheapest somebody's willing to sell at. So the opposite is how these are read. Man, so there's nothing really... The stuff that I look at for the cat is actually at least like a month out. Because he doesn't play a lot of... Again, like we've spent enough time looking at his stuff that he spends more time way further out. Let's take a look at size. The first thing you have to do is clean up all this. So there's nothing coming in at 1,000, which I would just have to imagine he would come in at. Yeah, so it doesn't look like he's in options here. It looks a little too quiet as far as I can tell. Interesting though. So we will see. Cedric says it's more than you think. What, the premium, or is that what you tell your girlfriend? Because that's what I tell my wife. It's exactly what I tell my wife. The problem is like the total premium, it doesn't really matter, right? Because for something like this, for example, 638K, we have to remember like what we're dealing with. So for somebody like the cat, and this is looking at the largest trades over the last month, that's the biggest trade. So if we look at just the number of trades that are over 100,000, one, they're bought and offered all over the place. Two, none of these are big enough trades for him. Unless he lost all his money, which I don't think that to be the case, but if that is the case, that could lead to smaller positions. But I just see these positions as probably being a little underpowered for him. There it goes. We're charging now, gang. All right, y'all. I'm gonna jump off. I gotta go take a walk over to the gas station, grab some drinks and stuff. Super stoked to catch up with you guys. As you know, even when we're traveling, it's on site. We're out here still getting it done. Always great to connect with you guys. If you need anything, hit me up in the Discord. There will not be a live stream tomorrow because I'm not going to get in, I think, until a little bit later. But then we're going to pick back up Thursday with the Outlier Pro live stream. So we will get back at it soon enough. Be an outlier or an ape or an outlier ape, whatever makes you feel happy. And then I'll see you guys later.